And welcome, Hoosier fans, to another victorious episode of the Doing the Work post-game show. As today, your three-seeded Indiana Hoosiers came up victorious in their opening round game of the NCAA tournament against the Charlotte 49ers, taking them down 51-85. I'm your host, Kathy Amos, here with my co-host, Sean Cron, and today we will break it all down for you on this edition of the Doing the Work, the new show on the Back Home Network dedicated to covering IU women's basketball. And today we will start our show the same way we start every show, and that is with our banner moment. And Sean, for me, I'm going to go back to the start or the end of the the end of the first quarter at the 2:47 mark, and the team at that point was tied up with Charlotte 11-11, and they would go on a run starting with that 2:47 mark, and in that first quarter 11-1 in the last 2 minutes, but then come out in that second quarter and continue it on. They would go on a 20-2 IU run that lasted until Charlotte finally made a field goal by Jet Wilson at the 5:30 mark in the second quarter that finally ended the run of no field goals for Charlotte. And that really put us up pretty handily after the end of that long run there. Again, it was 11-11, ended that 20-2 run. So we were 31 to 4 or 31-13 at that point. And it really just, the team never looked back like at the end of the day. We would end up with multiple people in double digits, 3 of them, plus a number of all five of our starters and 5 bench players all scoring today. So it was a well-balanced performance. And I thought that run there starting at that 2:47 mark in the first quarter really highlighted and started what we would continue on into the end of the fourth quarter and the buzzer. And to me, that is the banner moment for today. And as always, our banner moment is brought to you by our friends at Home Field Apparel. They're in their first season as the presenting sponsor for the Back Home Network. And did you know that among Home Field's large collection of vintage IU apparel is a shirt commemorating one of the most successful seasons in the history of Indiana women's basketball? It's true. In fact, I have mine on today. It's commemorating the women's 1983 season when they won the Big Ten title and made their first NCAA appearance. Given what our team is doing now under Terry Moran and how we've started our NCAA run, hopefully here with an 85-51 victory, it might be time to look at a new shirt for your collection. And if you or other people in your life support other teams, Home Field probably has something for them as well, with over 120 different schools with unique vintage logos for all of them. And no matter what you buy, you know it will be comfortable and the colors will last through many washings. Plus, you're supporting an Indiana-based company that came up through Kelly, and what could be better than that? So go to homefieldapparel.com, and if it's your first purchase, you can use our promo code HOME, HOME, to get 15% off your entire first order. Once again, that's homefieldapparel.com, so wear one for the team. Okay, well, now it's time to move the ball, find our open player, and get some opening thoughts. And Sean, I'll kick it over to you for Sean's summation.
Thanks, Kathy. And yeah, I think this was another great win for the IU Hoosiers. They needed to come out strong right from the beginning, and they did. They dominated this game from start to finish. I was a little curious to see once what they would be like after coming off the Big Ten tournament and everything, and actually having a long rest and being able to get some rest and get some practice in. So I think Coach Morin and her staff did a great job getting the women prepared for this game, and it showed.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. All right. Well, we will continue our breakdown of Indiana's win over Charlotte in their first round game of the NCAA tournament. And we will point out today's meaningful moments you might have missed. Then we'll go inside the numbers to highlight the most important statistical notes of the game. You are listening to the Doing the Work post-game show. Again, my name is Kathy Amos. I'm here with my co-host, Sean Cron, and we were breaking down that win over Charlotte. And now it's time for meaningful moments you might have missed. And Shawn, I think we can probably highlight most of the stuff from the first and second quarter, and maybe just a couple from the third and fourth. But do you want to start us off with anything you want to talk about from the first quarter?
Yeah, I think from the first quarter, starting off was one of the things I wrote down was at the 8:15 mark, Alexa hit her first three-pointer of the game, and I think it kind of set the tone for the team. I think they overall for the day, I mean, they shot very well as a team, and like I said, I mean, that was just the first shot that I had for her. Following that, at the 4:55 mark, I had Grace had drove the lane and to her top of the key and where her sweet spot is, and nailed another jumper. So they were looking good right from the start of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I have a couple items written down for Alexa as well. One of them you just mentioned. The other one is Alexa really just fighting for a defensive rebound at some point, and that continued to be a theme for her the rest of the game. She ended up with 6 rebounds for the day, but she really just fought hard, I thought, on both ends of the court. It was a really all around good game for Alexa, and she, like you said, she set that tone there with that opening three-pointer in that first quarter. I also thought Chloe Moore McNeil had a pretty good game today as well, coming in off of the bench for us. So, at 2:45, she got beat on defense there, and that's where Charlotte tied it up at 11-11 when I mentioned it in my banner moment, but she came right back down on the other end. And boy, she just had this beautiful pass down to Mackenzie down low, where Mackenzie scored. And that's what really got us started then on that 20-2 run that we would end up going on there. So again, we ended that quarter with an 11-1 run in the last 2 minutes. It ended up being up then 12-22 and outscoring them by 10 in that quarter. Anything else from the first quarter that you want to touch upon?
Yeah, I think to end that first quarter, I think one of the important things I wanted to mention was Mac hit a jumper to beat the buzzer right at the end of the first quarter. And it was just once again it was just it was a great play, and it was great to see Mac actually have a really good game, and kind of getting back to her the game that she had before she was hurt, before her injury. So
yeah, absolutely. Mackenzie had also had a great game. She was one of our 3 players in double digits. This was her 7th game in a row after coming back from her knee surgery that she would end up with double digits. So, and we'll take that from Mackenzie, and we'll go ahead and continue on into the second quarter. And one moment I wrote down was really early on at the 9:28 mark. Mac actually got her second foul, and they had to bring Keandra Brown in. A couple of reasons why I thought this was a meaningful moment. One, obviously, Mackenzie going out with that second foul. Charlotte is a very guard-heavy team and didn't really have a whole lot, although they did try one lady trying to coming in the second quarter or second half rather, that I don't think she added a whole lot to their post presence, but really I thought it was important then for Keandra Brown to be coming back. So if for those of you who may not remember or didn't know, Keandra had a hip injury that's been kind of nagging her all year, and it did take her out of pretty much the entire Big Ten tournament. So having Keandra Brown coming back and being able to come in for Mackenzie when she had that second foul, I thought was a very important moment for the team, not just for this game in particular, but if they want to have a deep run here in the tournament that they kicked off today. I think it's important for all of our starters to be going, but I think we need to have our bench being able to make some meaningful contributions as well. Shawn, what else do you have for us in the second quarter?
Yeah, I'm going to add on to that, what you were saying about Keandra Brown. She had come in for Mackenzie right away, and she contributed right away. She ended up getting a rebound and a bucket right away, and she became our 7th player at that point of the game to have scored. So I thought that was important. I mean, we were definitely sharing the ball today, passing it around. Everybody was getting good shots, and it really helped the team today. The other thing I wanted to mention was that this was when IU started their big run. The 20-2 run, I believe, you started in the second quarter here, and it really helped open things up for IU for the rest of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, you mentioned already just the that was the 7th player that scored for us. So Grace Berger, I think we'd be remiss without having talked about her yet. She was just really did Grace Berger things today. And we saw that at the 9-minute mark where she had some really outstanding defense and got a steal, and then tipped that back on the other ends and put it back up for just another beautiful layup, pull up that we, come to known and expect from Grace. And that was how we started the quarter, with that 4-0 run, and it led immediately to a Charlotte timeout. So I thought all around Grace just had a really good game for us today. But what are your thoughts on Grace?
Yeah, I thought Grace did a great job running the offense, and sharing the ball. She was looking for her shots. She was very physical, driving the lanes. So I think, yeah, she had another great day, a typical, Grace effort. So yeah, I think she did a great job. Another one I wanted to talk to you about was Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Her defense again was outstanding, and I even heard the commentators say that how she was a pest, and who was she going to guard today? And in that first half a lot, she was guarding Michaela Boykin a lot. And one of the things I wanted to point out was that Michaela Boykin didn't get her first basket until the 3:50 mark of the second quarter. So that just goes to show how good of defense that Nicole plays throughout the entire game.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll continue on with Nicole and highlight her in that second quarter as well. So I wrote down at the 1:30 mark, Nicole doing Nicole things. And, she's down on, as you mentioned, being her typical pest self. And we had missed a shot, and we had, she wasn't, I wouldn't say she was really pressing, but she was doing her defensive pest thing on the other end, and really forced a turnover. But not just she didn't just force the ball out of bounds, but she actually went and saved that ball out of bounds and got it back into Chloe Moore McNeil. And again, that was just such great hustle from Nikki, showing us what she can do when she's in there. So anything else from the second quarter play wise you have?
I think a couple of things I wanted to point out, going back to Grace, was that, at the 2:15 mark, she ended up hitting 2 free throws that put her in double figures, and that was her 17th straight game this year being in double figures for the year. So I think that was important to mention. And once again, she it's just she just continues to do Grace things.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Well, so there in that second quarter, we would continue on and outscore the 49ers by another 8 points, and we go into halftime up 74-42. So outscored them by 18 points in that first half. And again, this just became a theme because I think in every segment that we had, between all the timeouts, all the quarters, we outscored them by everyone except for the very last media timeout in the second quarter where we were even with them. So again, it was just a very offensively pretty game for us against 49ers. And I do want to point out that it's not that Charlotte doesn't have good defense. They actually are 16th in the nation in field goal percentage allowed. And so it wasn't like we were coming in against a Charlotte team that didn't know how to play defense. So that was absolutely not the case here. So yeah, this was just a great offensive effort from our team. So I'm sure we'll get more into that when we get into the stats. So let's continue on then with the third quarter. And there I wrote down to start us off here that Allie came out in halftime. She was pretty quiet in that first half. She had a field goal to open up the game for us. And then after that, offensively, at least, she didn't really score again for us. But she did do the same thing in the third quarter where she opened up for us like she did with another 2-point basket for us to start getting that third quarter rolling. So, Allie, for me today, even though offensively, maybe you look at her stat line and thought Allie didn't quite put up the numbers we'd want with only 7 points. But again, I thought Allie did things that you don't see showing up in the stat line. I thought her defense was very solid today. Yeah. She showed good leadership on the floor. And she did a nice job for us all around. And just keeping the team together and showing some good leadership there. But any thoughts on Allie's play or any game moments in the third quarter you want to talk about?
Yeah, I thought Allie, like you had said, her stat line wasn't real impressive today, but she did have 4 assists today, which tied for second for the team. And, it just shows, she was, passing the ball around, contributing to others, and looking for the open player to get the open shot. So it's not always the scoring line that's going to show who's having a great game. Another couple of things I wanted to point out in the third quarter was, we continued our great play with Grace and Mac. At the 8:30 mark, they had a great screen and roll play, and Grace threw it into Mac for an easy 2, and it was just so fun to watch and just so sound.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, shortly after that play, Mac ended up getting a steal and throwing it ahead, and Alexa ended up getting a layup. So it was just, it just shows, it was an all-around team effort today.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing I want to talk about as well in this third quarter. There was a play in particular right towards the end that, again, speaks to our leadership from our team. It speaks to the seniority on our team and just the high basketball IQ. And that was with at the 146 mark, Allie, again, you look and you're like, oh, she only had 7 points. She was 1 for 2 on 3-point. And that's not, again, what we were expecting from Allie all the time. We needed her to be solid, not necessarily putting up double-digit points. And this is the example of that. Allie had a 3 that she could have taken fairly early into the shot clock, maybe halfway through. And instead, again, knowing we're up, at that point, quite handily, she passes that 3 up. The ball eventually makes its way around to Alexa. Alexa drives the ball in. She misses that shot, but Mackenzie gets the offensive rebound and goes up for a basket and gets fouled. And I just like this play all around because it showed Allie with her foresight to pass that shot up when she could have taken it. Wasn't like it would have been a highly contested shot, but she passed up a good shot to really end up getting a great shot from Alexa, who was really, driving the ball. She ended up missing it, but we had Mackenzie right down there again doing, Mackenzie things with that offensive rebound to clean up the board. So I like that play again, just because it highlights from the team their teamwork together, as well as their high basketball IQ. Anything else in the third quarter you want to talk about?
Yeah, one of the things I noted down here was once again Nicole, her defense at the 5:49 mark, I believe it was. She was Charlotte was taking the ball out of bounds, and she was guarding them, and she was doing her pesky defense again, and I think it was McKinney from Charlotte ended up throwing the ball out of bounds. So I mean, she just Nicole caused that turnover, and it was it's just I would hate to have to go up against her. I mean, I think she is just so good defensively.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Nicole for sure did her Nicole defensive thing today. So we would end up outscoring Charlotte there by 11 points in that third quarter and be up now 35-64 coming into the fourth quarter. So going into the fourth quarter, I think we have a couple maybe different types of moments we can highlight. And the first one I'm going to pick, Shawn, is again, this might be something maybe people didn't notice, if they weren't paying too much attention, but we came out and played zone defense in that fourth quarter. And to be honest, I'm not sure if I've seen them play zone all year. It was not, and I'm not quite sure if it was I think it was a 3-2 zone. It was a very spread out zone. Charlotte ended up scoring on it. And then we get the ball back, and I'm not sure if we scored or not, but then we came back down in our next defensive possession. We were back to man, and that was the end of zone for that game. So I'm curious to see if we're going to try to throw that out again. It didn't seem to work too well, but again, it was one possession, but I thought that was an interesting moment for the team when they, again, hang their hat on tough man-to-man defense, and that we came out in a zone. But any thoughts on that one defensive play that we were playing zone there?
Yeah, I think I was shocked, as shocked as you were to see that. We haven't seen that. I don't think we've seen that all season, have we?
I don't think so.
And for them to come out in zone, it was like, wow, this is different. So, I was glad to see that they switched back to man-to-man shortly after that. But it was kind of fun to see.
Right. I guess if you're going to try it, why not try it in a game you're up 35-64 though, right? So, that'll be something interesting to watch in our game on Monday. So, what else do you have with fourth quarter?
Yeah, I think the important thing in the fourth quarter is that our bench players started to get some action. And I had at the 4:15 mark, Caitlin Peterson was in the game, and she ended up getting a steal, and then ended up being able to drive it for a layup. And I mean, it was just a great play on her part, and kind of hoping that, since Nicole can't come back next year, maybe Caitlin can be that pesky defensive player that we can have her come back for next year.
Yeah, I had that written down. The unfortunate thing, I think, for Caitlin is that she followed it up with a foul right after that. So great steal, great fast break layup, and then she followed up with a foul. So, yeah, I wrote that down as well, Shawn, because of exactly what you're saying. I'm looking now in that play with the future, who we're going to have come on defense for us. And I'm as well hoping for Caitlin Peterson, but I think she's got a lot of things to clean up. She's quite a bit inconsistent, right? She's got this great steal, but then she follows it up by a foul because I think she's still just a little slow in moving her feet and gets a little bit reaching in with her hands on that. So, but continuing on, I'm going to go ahead and jump all the way almost to the end at the 1:35 mark. At this point, I think we had almost all bench players. Allie might have still been out there. I'm not quite sure when Allie got pulled from the game, but at this point, Mona Zarek came in. So Mona is a freshman for us. She's from Serbia. She has hardly played at all this year. I think I might have seen her jump into one game before. I'm not even 100% sure on that. But at the 1:45 mark, they got the ball down to her, and she scored a 2-point basket, and that was her first basket in her Indiana career. So really great crowd, cheer and roar for her as well. And also just some great play there at the end from Grace Wagner. So, I think we all hopefully remember at this point, Grace is, originally a walk-on for Indiana. She's worked her way into a scholarship. She has chose not to come back after this year. She got into the Indiana School of Business, Kelly School of Business MBA program. So she's going to concentrate on her studies. So, she's got one more home game for Grace Wagner here coming up. So it was fun to see her get some good time. And the thing I wrote down for her is at the 3:30 mark, she had that great block at the defensive ends. And, and then as well, you had the two of them working together. So, Zarek actually hit Grace Wagner down low. Grace went up and put it for two, and she got fouled pretty hard. We were a little nervous there for a few seconds till she got up, but it was kind of fun to see, Zarek, who has hardly played at all, and then Grace Wagner, in there together, playing together. And I felt like it was kind of, Grace on her way out, and Zarek is our future. And it was fun to see that opportunity for those two ladies to get in there and play.
Yeah, I think, I just want to add a little bit more onto Grace Wagner. At that 3:18 mark, she ended up getting a block, had a great block. Chloe Moore McNeil ended up getting the ball, passed it ahead to Mac for a layup. And it just exemplified what we had all day. Great defense transitioning to great offense. And it just, we played that way all day, and hopefully we can keep it going in the next game.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have any more moments. Anything else for you that you want to highlight, either from the fourth quarter or anything you've missed in your notes you want to go back on?
I think that covers it for me.
Okay. So even in that fourth quarter, when we had a big part of our subs coming in and that under 5-minute timeouts, we still outscored Charlotte's by 5 points in that quarter, and we'd go on winning 85-51. So with that, I think it's time maybe to go inside the numbers. So Shawn, you want to maybe pick out a stat from the team that you want to highlight here?
Oh boy,
there's a lot to pick from.
There's a lot to pick from today. I'm going to start off with the assists today. The assists were outstanding. We had IU ended up with 23 assists to, I believe, 7 for Charlotte. And it just, once again, just showed how unselfish we were with the ball, how we were looking for the open shot, the open player. And, I just love to see that, so many assists today.
Yeah, absolutely. And those 23 assists led to 64 field goal attempts, 35 of which they made. So that was my stat I wanted to talk about, which was our field goal percentage. So we shot 48% from the field in the first half, holding Charlotte to 33%. We ended up with the game at 54.7% field goal percentage and holding them to 37%. So on the year, Charlotte actually shoots 42%. They average 76 points per game. So again, I'm highlighting both our offense and our defense. So from a defense perspective, we held them well under their average in both shooting percentage as well as points scored. So again, they averaged 76 points per game, and they only scored 51 today. And then on the flip side of that, with our field goal percentage, 54% from the field, including our 3-point percentage at just under 28%. So we'd like to see that maybe a bit higher, but I'll take that in a game where we're really getting it down low. I'll have to apologize to everyone. I wish I had points in the paint stat, because I have a feeling we pretty much dominated that stat as well. I'm sure we've dominated all of them. Unfortunately, our normal stats page is for media only, which I'm not, and Sean's not. So we are reliant on ESPN, which leaves things to be desired, so we don't have points in the paint. But on the flip side of that too, again, 16th in the nation for Charlotte in field goal percentage defense, and we shot a 54.7%. So just outstanding shooting for us all around here today. What other team stats do you have down?
I wanted to take a look at turnovers.
Yeah.
We've been talking about turnovers the entire year, and leading up to the Big Ten conference, the tournament, and how important it was to knock those turnovers down. Today, we ended up with 6 total turnovers. Yeah. 6, well below our average of, I believe it's 11 or 13.
I don't know what our average is. I know our team goal is 11.
Yeah. So, I mean, well below our goal. So we ended up with 6 turnovers to Charlotte's 14 turnovers. So we did a great job taking care of the ball. And, it's, I just got to hand it to Grace and Nicole and all of our guards, that were able to, get those turnovers down, actually everybody. So, I mean, that was great to see today. I mean, great stat.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic stat. So the other one too that I thought we'd kind of highlight is this 8 steals for the team as well, to only 2 for them. And I think that really goes along with your turnover stat that you just highlighted. So definitely something there to highlight. Any other team ones, or you want to jump into the individual?
Let's go ahead and jump into the individuals.
Okay. You want to go first?
Go ahead.
All right. So I am actually going to start with Alexa Gulbe. Alexa today, I thought she just had an all-around great game for us. She ended up with 15 points. I believe she was our first player into double figures for us. She also ended up with 6 rebounds. She did have 2 turnovers, but again, like I am not going to nitpick at that, because I thought that Alexa did oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong line. That was Grace. Alexa had no turnovers and 6 rebounds and 15 points. So, but the thing again for Alexa today was the things that didn't show up in the stat line, and I thought it was a lot of hustle. And I was actually surprised. I thought she would have had more rebounds than what she showed, but I thought Alexa was both very aggressive going to the basket and trying to get some drives going, as well as shooting the ball from outside, and ended up being 2 for 5 on 3 points as well for us. So I thought, again, Alexa, just what we needed from her. Yeah. And especially, in that first half where Mackenzie got a little bit into foul trouble and maybe had a little bit was, still kind of getting herself going there with that. Alexa just really filled in really nicely for Mackenzie again. I wouldn't say filled in, but compliments her very well, yes, even with Mackenzie on the bench. So. Yep. Yeah. How about you? Who else?
I wanted to highlight Grace today. Grace ended up with 18 points overall on 7 of 13 shooting. She was 4 of 6 from free throws. She ended up with 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and as you had mentioned, she had the 2 turnovers. But I think overall she did a great job running the offense. She was aggressive on offense, looking for her shot. Driving the lanes, hitting her sweet spot there at the, on the elbow. She just overall had another just great game.
Yeah, absolutely. And between Alexa and Grace in the first half, They had 23 points, almost single-handedly outscoring Charlotte, who had 24 points at the half. So that first half in particular, those two I thought were the highlight for our team. But then second half jumps in, and we got to Mackenzie Holmes, right? And Mackenzie just really exploded in that second half in particular. And you could tell that the team was really focused on getting her the ball. She was able to convert. She ended up going 9 for 15 from the floor, and with a team high of 19 points. So she was not one of our leading scorers in the first half, but she definitely brought it home in the second half for us. So, Mackenzie, I don't think we'll see pre-knee surgery Mackenzie Holmes this year again. She just had such a long time off to get that conditioning back in. And, but boy, if this is about as close as we're going to get it, I think I'll take this second half Mackenzie, really the whole game, but her second half in particular, I thought was amazing. She also led the team in rebounds at 8, and converted her 1 free throw at the line. Contributing as well 1 steal. So I thought, again, all around game were just fantastic from Alexa and from Grace. That second half great game in particular from Mackenzie was just a thing of beauty. Anything on Mackenzie, or do you want to talk about other folks that we have?
I want to talk about our bench players. Our bench overall today, we had 15 points from our bench. And I think the only one that didn't score today was Wisney. She's the only one that didn't have any points today that got some playing time. But Chloe Moore McNeil once again had a good game. 7 points overall, 3 of 6 from field goal. She ended up with 4 rebounds and 4 assists. No turnovers. So I think she had another good game today, and it just shows how she is evolving and come along as a player.
Yeah, absolutely. So continuing on with the bench, yeah, I already mentioned Keandra Brown getting in as well. She did contribute 2 points as well. That was, I think, on an offensive rebound that she put back in for 2. So the other, we had Mona Zarek, we had Keandra Brown, Caitlin Peterson, and Grace Wagner all with 2 points for us. So they all contributed in some fashion or another. We also have Grace Wagner with 1 block off of the bench, which we talked about, one of our meaningful moments. And all around too, I just wanted to talk maybe back to the team a little bit. I just thought the fouls too were actually really low. We only had 11 fouls for the entire game. And I didn't actually think, most of the time I would blame that on officials maybe not calling it. I actually thought they were really clean defensively. So I wouldn't chalk that up to the officials not doing their job. But we also had Keandra Brown with 3 rebounds. So if we're highlighting folks from our bench.
Absolutely.
So all around, yeah, just a fantastic game. 5 assists from Nicole Cardano-Hillary to lead the team at 5 assists. You had 8 rebounds from Mackenzie Holmes to lead the team, 19 points from her, 2 other players in double figures. Our starters were all good. Allie was 7. You had Nicole with 9 points. So it was just such a balanced game from us today. And I think this is a great game to have for a tune-up game, if you will, with 13 days of rest and lots of time to prepare. I thought this was just a really great matchup for us. But I don't have anything else for statistics, but how about you? Do you have anything else you want to highlight?
No, I think that covers it.
Okay. All right. Well, you are listening to the Doing the Work IU postgame show. You can catch us live immediately following most of the IU women's basketball games. And you can also find us at our website, assemblycall.com. Also, make sure to sign up for our free IU Hoops email newsletter. We have over 9,000 and closing in very quickly to 10,000 people subscribe to it. So you can join today for free at join.assemblycall.com. Again, my name is Kathy Amos. I am here with my co-host Shawn Cron, and we are breaking down the first round NCAA win from Indiana over Charlotte, 85-51. So, Shawn, it is now time for our game ball. So I will let you go first on this one. Who did you write down for your game ball? Because I think there's a lot of different ways you could go on this in the Hustle Award. So we'll be interested to see how we match up here.
Yeah, there's a few different players here, but from a game ball, I've got to go with Mackenzie today. I think she had an all-around great day. I think she's getting back to her former self prior to the injury. And I think it showed, especially in that second half. She had a great second half, ended up, like you said, 19 points overall. I just love the way that she plays, and she's strong down low. And it's great seeing her back.
Yeah. All right. So in case anyone's ever curious, if Shawn, again, just as a reminder, Shawn and I are married. I know we have different last names, but we are married. We watch the game together. We talk about the game together. What we do not talk about when we do these post-game shows are who we are going to give our game ball and our hustle award to. And today, I think it shows, because I'm going a different route than you, Shawn. I am going to go with Grace Berger for my game ball. Why Grace Berger? I thought Grace had the more complete game than Mackenzie. So I know if you look on the statistics, Mackenzie had a fantastic, really second half in particular. I thought Grace just had a more complete game. I thought her defense was spot on. I thought that she played from tip until the final buzzer, and really led us in every facet. And she also contributed with 4 assists. So for me, I thought Grace just had the more complete game. So we'll see. I think we got a couple of votes from our workaholics here that have joined us live today. So Quang, you voted for 3 people, just so you know. That makes it very difficult. But Mackenzie, Grace for Alexa. But Joe has voted with me as well for Grace. So I think we'll give it to Grace for this one.
All right. Yeah, you can't. I can't. You can't go wrong there. Yeah.
And you know what? A terrible problem we have,
that.
Right? I mean, it's a terrible problem when you have lots of different players to pick from. So continuing on with that, we'll go to our Hoosier Hustle Award. But before we do, I guess maybe let me go back. So that is actually now Grace's 9th game ball for the year. Mackenzie and Nicole and Allie are all tied for second with 4, and Alexa has got 2 of them. But now it is time for our Hoosier Hustle Award. So again, if you're out there in the workaholic, go ahead and throw your vote in for Hoosier Hustle. In case you're not sure how it works, we can't give it to Grace now, so can't vote for her. But our Hoosier Hustle is sponsored by our friends at Evansville Security Services. So Evansville Security Services provides off-duty police officers to businesses and individuals throughout Indiana. Remember, prevention cannot be measured, so let Evansville Security Services help you prevent a bad outcome today. You can find them at evansvillesecurityservices.com to learn more. Again, that's evansvillesecurityservices.com. And so, Shawn, since I made you go first with the game ball, I will go first with my Hustle Award. Again, I think that you can go just a number of different ways. And I'm going to go with Alexa on my game ball for this one. And again, I've alluded to this throughout the show. I think Alexa did things that you don't necessarily see show up in the stat column today. I thought that she just played a fantastic game. Again, second in scoring for us. Third in scoring rather, with 15. I didn't think that tells the story of the game for Alexa, because I thought, again, from the tip until that final buzzer, or maybe not the final buzzer until she was, I guess, taken out for all of our bench players, I thought Alexa just played a really nice all-around game. It was a really clean game. Again, no turnovers. She contributed 6 rebounds. 5 of them were defensively. And it was a game I think we really needed from Alexa. Alexa, I think, is our glue player. For those of you who might have listened to the Assembly Call selection show that Jeff Marlowe and I did, Jeff called out Alexa as one of his players that he thought will really be the swing player on how far this team can go deep into the tournament. And I will project that if Alexa's playing the way she did, and the rest of the players, that we get this kind of contribution from Alexa, I think that this team can really do some damage in there. So for me, I'm voting for Alexa for a Hustle Award. But Shawn, how about you?
I'm going to follow that up with another vote for Alexa. So same thing. I thought she had a great game. The 15 points, you had mentioned 6 rebounds, and she led the team in steals. With three steals. But as you said, she was from start to finish. She had a great game. She was going down low, physical down low on the defensive boards, physical down low on offense. And she had hit 2 3-pointers for us today also. She had an all-around great game.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and lots of honorary mentions we have going out there, right? We got Nicole because of her defense and her just all-around hustle. We've got Mona for her first time scoring in an Indiana uniform. We have, I think, Grace Peterson. You could throw out some love for her with her hustle there at those last 5 minutes in particular. Chloe Moore McNeil was fantastic off of the bench.
Yeah.
again, these are really awful problems we have, right? So, but that we'll go with Alexa for the Hustle Award. That makes her second Hustle Award, and I'm going to read off the list, and it kind of again goes back to our season. If this is how we're going to play going forward, I'm loving this team. I've loved them all year. Chloe has had 6. Grace Berger and Nicole have both had 5. Mackenzie, Keandra, Grace Wagner, Caitlin, and Allie have all had Hustle Awards. So that's quite a few players on our team having Hustle Awards. So any other lingering storylines before we move on to highlight our next opponent, Shawn? Anything else you want to hit on from this game today?
No, I think we hit on everything today.
Okay. Yeah, and we can maybe cover off lingering questions when we do our wrap up. But let's talk about our preview of our upcoming shows and opponent. So yeah, we are in the tournament, everybody, in case you weren't quite sure. This was our opening round game. We will move on now and play the winner of Kentucky and Princeton. I would suspect they have probably tipped off at this point. So I don't have a time for you. They have not released the time on when that game will be. It will be on Monday. We will have a post-game show on Monday. Shawn and I both have day jobs that we have to do during the day. So if that game does tip off during the day, we will have a delayed post-game show sometime in the evening. If the game is in the evening, we will go live immediately following the game. So it's kind of up in the air. So, stay tuned again to our YouTube channel at assemblycall. Also, stay tuned to Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, please do so. I've been trying to tweet out when we're going to have shows. I also tag the Assembly Call. So lots of ways we'll try to stay in contact with you. But it should be Monday against either Princeton or Kentucky. So I did get a little bit of information from both teams since we don't technically know who we're going to play. I will talk about Princeton first. Princeton is the number 11 seed. They finished their regular season at 24-4. Their 4 losses all came back in November and December. As a team, they only averaged 68.8 points per game, and they're led by Abby Myers, who averages 17.8 per game. Contrast that with Kentucky. Kentucky is the number 6 seed coming in. Indiana did play them earlier this year on November 14th. We beat them 88-67. Kentucky overall is 19-11. However, they have won their last 10 games, and that includes the last 3 of them in the SEC tournament to end the season, including wins over 3 ranked teams, including number 6 LSU and our number 1 overseed South Carolina. They are really rolling right now, coming into postseason play, and they probably are one of the, if not the hottest team in the nation from a women's basketball perspective. They do average 72 points per game. They are led by Ryan Howard, who averages just under 21 points per game. So it'd probably be an interesting contrast in style. So again, I think that game is probably going on right now. So I don't know if anyone in the chat mob has any updates on that. I'll check my phone too while we're kind of doing double duty. But that is who we will be playing Monday. Again, game time is to be determined, so pay attention to Twitter or to our Assembly Call YouTube channel to get notifications. So you are listening to the Doing the Work IU post-game show. And just one last final reminder to go check out our friends at homefieldapparel.com. And if it's your first time ordering, you can get 15% off your order with the code HOME, HOME. All right, Shawn, it is time for last call. So any lingering questions and just last call thoughts you have today as we kick off our official NCAA tournament post-game show?
Not really any questions. I think it's more of, it's a great day, great game today. They played start to finish. I'm just interested to see if they can keep this momentum going forward, and to see if they can, continue this great play that they had today.
Yeah, absolutely. So, very early on, we got an update from Quang. Thanks, Quang. Princeton is up 2-0 over Kentucky.
Yes.
2 minutes into the game. So if Princeton can stick around and play well with them, I think it would be a lot of fun game. That could be a fun game to watch. But anyway, back to us. Let's focus on what we can control. Well, technically, we can't control anything, but our women's team sure can. So, boy, what a fantastic way to start off the NCAA tournament. The lingering question is, that the competition is just going to be getting tougher and tougher as we continue on. Again, in our brackets, if we can get by Kentucky, we have, potentially the Connecticut women who won big today in their first round matchup. We also have NC State that's in our bracket as well. So, they are winning right now with 15 seconds to go. NC State is beating Longwood 96-68. So again, just some really stiff competition in our bracket if the team is going to achieve their goal of making it to the Final Four and making a run at that banner. But boy, I had such a great time watching this team all year. I had a fantastic time watching them today, and I just think that momentum is on our side. I want to just also put a plug out for anybody that's in the Bloomington area. If you can, really try to get to the game on Monday. We had 6,400 people attend today. This is the first time in program history that we have hosted NCAA games. So let's fill it up. Iowa, for those of you who maybe didn't see that Iowa women are also hosting, they have already sold out their next game. This is now their third sellout in a row. They ended up selling out their regular season game against Maryland in their opening game yesterday, and they've sold out tomorrow's game as well. So I feel if we are really going to show we're the best basketball fans in the country, our Indiana fans need to show up and show out. So I think we can get past the 6,400 mark on Monday and really support our women. They deserve that. And again, grab a friend, grab all your family, and whatever's on your calendar, try to clear it. Call in sick, do whatever you need to do, and try to get to that game if you are anywhere close to the area. So again, I'm just having so much fun watching them, and I'm excited to watch them again on Monday. And really no lingering questions other than let's just keep going, and how far can we go?
That's right.
All right. So I think that will do it, everyone. So if you do want to see us do the show live and be part of the live chat, we appreciate everybody out there in the live chat that's out there who have been regulars. We'll be okay if our live chat is down because you're in the game on Monday. That's perfectly fine with me. Watch us later. You can always find us at our YouTube channel at youtube.com/assemblycall or in any of your podcast feeds that you subscribe to at Assembly Call. Also, you can join our free newsletter at join.assemblycall.com. And a special thanks to John Ringer of Riggs Design for designing our logo. And thank you all for listening, whether you're listening live right after the game or listening maybe live after, or not live as you drive home from the game, or whatever you like to do for your podcast listening pleasure. But we will be back to talk IU hoops again with you on Monday, again, as we continue our run here in the NCAA tournament. But until then, keep your elbow in, your eyes on the rim, and go Hoosiers. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Yeah, so Quang is saying he thinks the ticket office messed up some things there. So, yeah, I thought I had heard something about that. Thanks to all of you that are joining us. Again, thanks if you're listening later, just as important. We love having people chat along with us. It helps give us some insight as well. So really appreciate everyone being here. Shawn, again, thanks for pinch hitting and coming in off of the bench. I'm not sure if we'll get Coach Marlowe back this year. For those of you listening and have been, longtime subscribers for us this year and supporters of doing the work. Jeff is actually in Europe right now. He's chaperoning a school trip over there, so he won't be back yet for another week or so. So he definitely won't be with us Monday, and depending on how far the women go, he may or may not be back with us this year. Just as a side note too, Jeff and I have talked about doing some off-season podcasts. I don't want to think about that right now because I'm hoping we'll continue doing post-game podcasts here for the next few weeks. So we will talk more about off-season when we get there. It's not time for that yet. So I don't really have anything else. So thanks again to the chat mom. Shawn, any last words?
No, I just want to thank everybody and say go Hoosiers.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys and gals, we'll talk to you Monday. Take care.
Thank you.